Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw. Great. Okay, so fun. The photographer is high above in an audience. There's on the right, you can just see, okay, so there's this kind of weird, like high contrast lighting. On the right, you can just see the shape. Well, basically, you can see the skeletons of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and then another. I'm not really sure what other dinosaurs in the background. There are a couple of other dioramas. There's somebody brought in lights, so it's like stage lights. There's a stage. On the stage are people in costume. The singer seems to be wearing a gold sort of rhinestone something or other. Lots of very, very flashy, wearing a hat. There's a drummer with a Motley Crue shirt, of course. There's probably about 10, 12 people on stage. Nobody's wearing a mask, so it can't have been too recent. There's an audience of about 100 people behind. It's very colorful. Some people are holding drinks. So it's an adult crowd. Yes, in a museum, no less. Oh, and I just noticed one of the people who's looking at the camera. Okay, so the band is looking away from the photographer. One person is wearing what looks like this person. She should be in Rio. She's like dressed up with these like big plumes of red and green and pink and yeah, that's fun. It looks like a good fun time. And I think it's called so the photo is called Molly and the Ringwalds Party with Dinosaurs.
Yes.
Carrie.
Yes.
What am I looking at?
That is actually my band. I started an 80s cover band 20 years, actually more than 20 years ago now. 20 years ago. And we play private parties, we play corporate events, we play weddings, and we'll do some public events. This was a public event. It's at the museum. I don't know if they do it anymore. We did it for several years in a row, and then it just got to be so overwhelming and chaotic. Like there was thousands of people there when there should have been like 700.
Wow.
But yeah, in that photo, we're playing, but we brought up some local theater actors on stage, and they were singing the Time Warp.
Okay.
And
so what do you do in the band?
I play keyboards, and I sing backups. I'm not really that great of a singer, but I will sing backups, and I add the goofy element dance to it all.
Well, okay, Carrie, I don't know you. I mean, and all I know is that you start the conversation off with a bang. It looks like so much fun.
Those parties were fun. They were crazy.
So this is Houston?
Yes, Houston.
Okay, and how long ago was this particular one?
I think that was 2012. Because...
Oh, okay.
No, 2011. Yeah, because that's the year I made the samba costume. I made that. Yes.
Ah, nice.
And I joined a boot camp to get in shape for it.
That's you?
That is me. That's me in the samba costume.
Whoa, look, hey, I mean, of everyone in the audience, you are off the chain, off the hook. You look great, and you knew to turn to the photographer at just the right moment.
Yeah, I don't know how I knew that, but I think I just got lucky.
Well, it tells me something. You're also wearing very high white heels, like a good 3 inches on those heels.
Oh, yes. They were horrible.
But Carrie, you're kind of crazy. What is this? This is great.
Well, I picked this photo because it says a lot about me in just this one photo. I play in a band. I love costumes, and I like making costumes. I'm not shy. Because if I'm willing to get out there in that outfit and dance around singing, obviously I'm not shy. And it just shows like the band, like how successful the band was. There's a huge crowd there. I mean, you can't see all the people because the museum is huge, and obviously the picture could only get a fraction of it. But there's probably about 2,000 people there.
Wow.
It was a big, crazy party.
Respect. Okay, so you're clearly a creative kind of type. So you're playing keyboard. You made your own costume. You helped inspire the band to come together. What's the name of the band?
Molly and the Ringwalds.
Oh yeah, of course, Molly and the Ringwalds.
Yes, and Molly Ringwald does know we exist.
Really?
Yes, years ago, I think it was 2008, we actually got contacted by the Tony Danza show to be on there with Molly Ringwald. We were going to meet Molly Ringwald,
Awesome.
and we are all so excited. They were going to fly us to New York. We were going to play a song. We are going to get to meet her. They were going to do a little segment.
Amazing.
And then the bottom dropped out in the economy, and we got canceled.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so how long have you been playing keyboard?
I started taking lessons like I think second grade. My uncle taught me how to. I learned piano. I learned classical, and my uncle taught me. He was a musician. He had his PhD in organ performance. He and if you have, I love telling this story because a lot of people don't know where the saying "pull out all the stops" come from. It's an organ saying. You pull up all the stops and it lets all the
Ah.
air into the pipes, and it's super loud and vibrating, and it's just massive.
Ah.
You can't imagine into how massive it is until you're in a room with it. My uncle showed me once, and tiles were falling off the wall of the church.
Wow. Wow. So look at this, shooting it raw. You learn about pulling all the stops. I love
Yes.
that. That's great. Okay, so one person I had on the podcast, she was talking about how when you meet somebody, it's like you're kind of like unfolding a gift. You're unwrapping a little present, and you don't know what you're gonna get, and it's kind of like, oh, look at that, and you start off with this photo, and my head's kind of like popping, so like the shrink wrap, bubble wrap, pop 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 in my head. What are the different ways that you express yourself creatively? Music,
Music, yes.
costume.
I would say dancing, even though I'm not trained and I'm probably not that good at it. But when I dance, it is what I'm feeling at the time, as good or
Sure.
bad. But you know,
Well, there's a value judgment of you know when you're comparing yourself to that kind of thing. It's like you're being self conscious about it, and you're like, well, is it good or
well, I'm
bad? And
self-conscious when I talk about it. When I'm doing it, I don't care.
right,
I don't care how bad it is or goofy it is.
you're not a self conscious person if that's the photo that you're providing as your first one.
Not really. And like somebody recently asked me a question about embarrassing moments, and I was just like, well, I really don't get that embarrassed. I mean, I've had so many
Nice.
wardrobe malfunctions on stage. My favorite one was I had a strapless dress, and I did not wear a
Hmm.
strapless bra under it. I had no bra on. We were
Yeah,
playing at the Fine Arts, and there was an upper stage, upper level, and there were high school students looking down. It was high school appreciation art night, and my top
nice.
fell down. And all
It
the
did.
boys were like, "Yeah, woohoo, yeah!"
Well, first of all, it's that's all that may be a problem in the U.S., not a problem in France. You're fine.
Yeah. But here, though, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh," like, "Yeah, whatever."
Yeah, whatever.
Gave him a
It's
good
just
time.
skin. It's just like it's just skin. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Just skin. Okay, this is you're fun. You're a lot of fun. Do you have a creative outlet in your work? Like, is this part of what you do
Oh
for a
no,
living?
my work is anything but creative. you know, my work is about writing about commodities in
Oh,
markets and futures and cash differentials, and it's pretty cut and
oh,
dry.
cash
Yeah,
differentials.
it's exciting
Oh,
stuff.
talk dirty to me. Oh, shooting it raw.
But I do
What about?
write outside of
Yeah.
that. I write
Okay.
creatively
Okay.
outside of that.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. I just noticed something. You are going to be episode 123.
Nice.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Do you want to continue on this photo? Do you want to move on? You're surrounded by dinosaurs. You're surrounded by people who are drinking. You're surrounded. Some people seem to be in costume.
Yeah, nearly everybody had a costume. And these
Awesome.
weren't just like, I put a mask on and whatever. These were like pretty nice over the top costumes. So it was really a lot of fun just to watch, see what people wore. And like
That's
the
great.
first year we played it, they wanted us to judge the costumes, which was such a horrible idea. So we had everybody walk around the room in a circle so we could look at all the costumes. And I was like, what?
That's like hundreds of people. You said.
Yes. So we played 3 or 4 songs and they all marched around in a circle. I'm like, this is
Mm.
bizarre.
So you're in Houston. Did you grow up in Houston?
I actually grew up in LaPorte. It's about half an hour. to an hour, depending on what side of Houston you leave from.
Oh, so Texas.
Yes, it's about halfway between Houston and Galveston, and
Ah,
it's like chemical petroleum, refineries, all that kind of stuff.
that's why you're glowing. Got it. Got
Right.
it. So let's move on to the next
Sure.
photo. Carrie, this is so fun. Oh, this is so good. Okay, next. So, is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So, if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes, shooting it raw.